Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lines TV, and tonight I'm bringing the Chelsea vs Karabakh match review. And yes, we spanked them 6-0. I'm not going to lie, we scored a few more goals than I expected, and it's so funny that we end up scoring a lot more goals recently when I'm talking about how inefficient we are in front of goal and how we lack being as clinical. Now, a lot of you guys coming to the stream might be noticing something a bit different, thinking, yo, Nini, what's happened to the facial hair? Obviously, I'm on a holiday on Thursday. I thought I'd change it up a bit for holiday. So you guys in the comment section afterwards, let me know what you think of it. My mum thought, actually, I can't even tell you what my mum thought of it. I'm not going to risk losing monetization. But anyway, you guys, getting straight on to the match review. And of course, starting by the player-by-player review. Now, actually, before I even get onto things, I was a bit surprised by the lineup. I know that a few people were. And, of course, the main one was Jai Masunda actually not playing. I was surprised by that. I think we all saw that Instagram post, and it seemed pretty cryptic. It was like he was implying that, 5 years in the making, he's been waiting for this opportunity. I think we all felt that he might be getting some game time, but actually it wasn't really to be, which is quite surprising. It was a shame. I was really disappointed to not see Masunda playing. Honestly, I don't understand why he couldn't play against the caliber of this team. Even though I did my review on Karabakh, at the end of the day, there's still a team from Azerbaijan, and there's different levels in terms of technique, in terms of fitness, strength, the whole thing. So I really don't believe that Masunda would have been, a downgrade or potential risk to us winning this game whatsoever. Not even getting any game time near the end, not even the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes, not even in the match squad. So it seems that Conte will be playing him in the Carling Cup games and the FA Cup game. I know we'll play Nottingham Forest soon, so we'll probably be seeing him playing and starting in that game. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was really disappointed to not see Masunda playing at all. But so be it. But at the same time, I can understand why Conte picked the team and squad he did, because we are playing Arsenal. I feel that he was seeing the Karabakh game as like the final fitness test, like match fitness test for the likes of Bakayoko, Hazard and co. So I feel like they will be playing a part against Arsenal, and Conte was basically thinking about the Arsenal game in advance as we were playing Karabakh. But of course, moving on now to the player-by-player review, Courtois started in goal. I wasn't surprised by that. I felt that if we are starting our Champions League campaign, you have to start with your first choice goalkeeper. You can't not be doing that. So, of course, he played, and honestly, did we even need a goalkeeper in this game? Even when there were shots, they weren't on target and they were over the bar. And really, it's probably the easiest game Courtois will ever have playing for Chelsea, and I'm sure we probably didn't even need the guy in goal. Moving on to the defence, Christensen, Cahill and Aspie. Starting with Cahill, of course, he gave away a stupid foul to get a yellow card, and I'm thinking, right after you just picked up a straight red card, you're going to go in like that, especially when it was so unnecessary doing that. But really, Cahill didn't have much defensive work to do at all. At times, actually, he was troubled a tiny bit by the pace of Enlovu. He was getting in behind him a bit. And also, I think it was Henrique on the right as well. But yeah, he's settled into the game. Of course, he hasn't played for a while. He had to obviously get used to the tempo. But moving on to Christensen. Now, Christensen to me was the best defender on the night. Very accomplished, very composed. And Lova tried to put a lot of pressure on him physically, getting right into him. And every single time, anytime any pressure was set on Christensen, he just plays it out so classy. Always makes the right decision. If it's with his heads, heading it to the right person, passing it away. Always got his composure. And to think this guy is 21 years old, honestly, it looks like he's been playing for Chelsea for years. And I really feel, actually, you know what? I was going to say I feel that if he continues to form, he could force his way into the first team. But I have a feeling, under the management, even if he was to play fantastically well, he'll still be seen as the backup option, unfortunately. But of course, I'd like to be proven wrong as the season goes on. But a very easy performance and a very accomplished one to really show you what he's about. Moving on to Aspie, that thing I'm saying about Aspie making one or two mistakes in a game was happening. Some, sloppy passes out from the back. But then he made up for that with a goal. But at the same time, we always say things like, it doesn't matter if you were poor with your passes as long as you scored a goal. Should it always be reviewed like that? I'm not quite too sure. But again, a very comfortable performance. Didn't have much to deal with. There was a few times, I think, Enlovo, I keep talking about this Enlovo guy, but I was actually impressed with this guy. He was the only good player for Carabao on the night. Him and Almeida, the bold guy, the John Joe Shelby impersonator in their midfield. They were the only two good guys I could really give credit for. And that Enlovo guy was actually causing us some problems. Pretty nice on the ball. He can play across the front three, pressure, works hard. I thought it was a good performance by the guy. Yeah, moving on to the wing backs. Alonso, one of the easiest games, and it's like, literally, as the game was going on, he could get forward whenever he wanted. Had no trouble. Anything he had to deal with defensively, he dealt with it assertively, and easy performance. ZAPPACOSTA, yes, ZAPPACOSTA, as I predicted, was going to make his full debut. I think all of us predicted he would be. And honestly, this was fairly simple. Now, like I did tell you guys, ZAPPACOSTA isn't a Moses-like figure. So he's not going to be dribbling at opponents and running at them. Yeah, of course he'll use his speed to sprint past them, but he's not someone that will, beat a man by using his close control or things like that. And at the same time, I feel that for him to get forward, sometimes he needs that support on the right from a Willian pushing out wide to let him push up. But, with ZAPPACOSTA, we will be getting a guy who's full of heart and desire. He will run. That's one of his best qualities, is his running and his work rate. He will do that. At the same time, does he have the same quality on the ball? I wouldn't say necessarily, but, sometimes when you're playing as a defender, it's your application, it's your desire, it's how you go about your business. And I feel that ZAPPACOSTA is a good addition to the squad due to his versatility playing on both flanks. And we've got to be serious, you guys. Even though he tried to trick us by the way he celebrated, that was a cross. It was a cross. It was a wonder goal. It was a Galazzo, but it was a cross. And if anything, the way he managed to get that opportunity when he beat, skipped past a man with his pace and his power and, blasted it in. We didn't see too many accounts of his crossing, but as I keep telling you guys, we're not really a team that relies on our crossing ability. We don't really work like that. We do play a crossing, but it's not a consistent thing in our game. We like to, play it on the floor more. And yeah, moving on to the midfield, Kante and Cesc. Kante, to me, the guy performs well all the time. And it was funny seeing Carabao players just, getting brushed off by him. Every challenge, every 50-50, he won single-handedly. He set the tempo. And as I was telling you guys, I'm noticing a Michael Essien-like transformation in Kante. At first, I thought he'd never be the type of player that could do that. But it looks like something special could be happening this season. There was a few forward passes he was playing, very ambitious ones and progressive ones that came off. And it looks like he had the confidence to fulfill that. And I'm thinking, if Kante is going on the right path that I'm thinking, my God, really, could we be getting the reincarnation of Michael Essien? Oh, I don't know. It seems like it could be the case. And it seems like really Kante he seems to be like he was created in a lab or something. His application, his willing to learn new things and really train hard. I mean, it makes sense. I remember I was reading an interview years back when he was training at one of his youth clubs. He couldn't do keepy-uppies, and his coach told him, over the summer, I want you to practice. I want you to be able to do 50 on the left and 50 on the right. He said he came back and Kante was able to do more than 100 on his left foot and more than 100 on his right foot. So this shows you the guy's application. And he seems to be a very fast learner. So I honestly think this could be a massive, massive season for Kante. And I'm actually going to do a video on him later on in the future, really talking about his development and his progression, because I'm thinking that it's starting to get a bit overlooked. But really, I want everyone to really notice the things I'm noticing about Kante. And yeah, moving on to the front three now. Yeah, Pedro, Willian and Michy. Pedro, you know what? I know he took the goal very, very well. Very good goal. But I don't know with Pedro. It's always like he just does enough for me. Of course, his shooting ability, his movement's fantastic. But when it comes to actually, his application in the games is not at the same level as it should be all the time. And I thought his performance was so-so today. He could have done a bit more. Willian was the best performer tonight. He just was. And these are the types of games that Willian loves. So he's able to show his Brazilian flair and trickery. His hold-up play, beating his man, and also the application. I really like that. If he was losing the ball, he'd go straight back in and win that 50-50 and start the attack again. And that's very good. And this is a guy saying, I want to be playing against Arsenal. And if I'm Conte, I would start Willian over Pedro. And he should, because, I'm sick and tired sometimes of seeing players in our team who, maybe let's say their form isn't as good as other players, yet they still deserve a place over the team, over the ones who are really showing their application. And I really think recently, Willian's just been playing better than Pedro. And he should be starting against Arsenal. If he doesn't, then I'm not going to be happy. Very good performance. Now, moving on to Mitchie. Yes, I know he got 2 goals, even though I heard that one potentially could be ruled off as offside. Not offside, I mean an own goal. But again, honestly, I keep saying this. I feel sorry for the guy. He isn't the type of player that we need up front. The guy prefers to be getting in the books, a poacher, play on the last line. When it comes to hold-up play, it's just not there. And I think he needs 2 years minimum at a team playing consistently to really develop that part to his game. Because he's only 23. I think by 25, if he was able to get the chance to play consistently like that, he would be able to have that facet to his game. But I mean, currently, it just doesn't have that. I know he got 2 goals. Mitchie is a fantastic finisher. He will get you goals regardless. But sometimes in football, it's more than just the goals. It's how you play. And too often, the ball's bouncing off him when he's doing a layoff. Most of his flicks don't necessarily come off all the time. And I think he finds it really, he's finding it difficult. I mean, today, it was a bit better. I liked his use of his strength. Karabakh players couldn't get around him. But, on the ball, I'm thinking it's easy for you to hold these guys off. But then, you're passing under pressure is still an issue. And it just wasn't a great performance in my opinion. I don't care that he scored 2 goals. I'm going to give him 2 goals. I don't care if he did that. Of course, it came right near the end when they were already tired and the game was over. But just, throughout the game, I'm still not seeing what I should be seeing. But anyway, moving on to Karabakh. It was a shame. That early goal, I really feel took all the stuffing. Is that the same? Oh, I don't know. I really feel that early goal really took everything away from them. If anything, it made it easier for us because then Karabakh actually came out to play. Maybe that was to their detriment because I thought they'd be playing a bit more defensively and holding out as they normally do when they play away from home. But maybe the manager thought this is a big opportunity to really show Europe what we're about. Wasn't the right game to do that today. A very convincing loss. And most of their players didn't give a good account of themselves. And the only 2 ones were Almeida, the ball guy who was, dictating the play or trying to, spraying passes. He had a very good touch and his passing was quick. And I thought Ndlovu, watching this guy, I know some of his finishing was suspect, but you got to think he's like a single-handedly trying to create chances for himself and finish things. It's hard, So most times he has to take his shot quickly. And maybe if he had a split second longer, his shots would be a bit more accurate. But I thought his performance was actually good. And I think he could be playing at a higher level compared to what he's playing at now. I mean, his movement. This is a guy who's comfortable dropping deep. He's able to, beat a man with skill. It seems like he's got a left foot and a right foot when it comes to shooting, as he took shots with either foot. And, he makes intelligent runs. And his first touch, I was looking at Ndlovu, holding off our defenders and doing, perfect layoff passes. And I'm looking at Mitchie and I'm thinking, a guy who's playing in Azerbaijan is able to do this quite easily and you're still struggling with that. I think that shows you how Mitchie doesn't really complement the team that much. But Ndlovu, if I'm a scout, I'd be keeping eyes on him. This guy should be playing at a higher level for me. But of course, subs came on. Hazard, Bakayoko and Rudiger. And I think all 3 of those guys will be starting against the game against Arsenal. Honestly, Rudiger coming on, I really wanted to see Morata come on. Now, of course, I can understand Conte thinking, against Arsenal, I'd rather have you fully fit and fresh. Don't want to risk anything potentially. But as a fan, as a spectator, I was hoping to see a little bit of some Hazard Morata link up. So I'm praying that I'm going to be seeing that against Arsenal on Sunday. And honestly, that's what I'm really looking forward to. I mean, it's I was watching Morata on the touchline. He was cracking some jokes with Rudiger. It seems like he's really settled into the club, or well, I mean, he's settled into the club already, and yeah, I think at Chelsea we tend to sign the right personalities. This is why, Chelsea team spirit is different to other clubs' team spirit. There's like a unity. All the players get along. You can see them all hanging out. They're all friends, and the characters are good. Morata's a joker. I think he's gonna be good with the Spanish speakers, Luis, Hazard, and the rest of them. And yeah, I'm happy to. I'm honestly really happy to have him at the stadium. The whole crowd was going wild when Morata came out to warm up. So I was just hoping I could have seen the guy for at least 10 minutes at least. But yeah, you guys, that's my match review for the game today. Very convincing, and I think that this is the perfect result when we're facing Arsenal on Sunday. Even though they've got a bit of decent form, I'm hoping in the Europa League they'll lose. That's what I'm really hoping. That would really knock the stuffing out of them. And I think this is the type of performance and win where actually, gives you confidence, gives the players and the team confidence for the game against Arsenal. Actually, before I even end it, the game we played today, it was, it was a very Conte performance. In the first half, they were out-possessing us in possession. But here's the thing, they didn't do anything with their possession. And, of course, sometimes when I have moaned about us defending, it's not because, in my perspective is, I know we're a good team and we don't have to do that. And I know Conte knows the team can do that, but he just does that just to be safe, just to be sure, not to take any chances. And to be honest, this is why he wins so many league titles. This is why we won the league last year, getting 30 wins. And I think this is why we're one of the favourites to win the league this year. And this is the type of approach that wins you games over the long run. And it could help us in the Champions League. Obviously, I need to see how we perform against Atletico. That will be the litmus test to really see how well we can do in the tournament this year. But I think with the squad and the system, this is a very good system to use in Europe, in my opinion. So I'm really optimistic to see what's going to happen with that. Carabao, of course, second half, they got tired. Another thing too is their tenacity. What do I mean by that? When we go in for a tackle, all of our players are winning their 50-50s. I think when you play in a league like Azerbaijan, you're not really used to that intensity in the tackle. So this is why they were so susceptible to losing the ball so easily. And yeah, of course, once we got the thirds, that was it really. Actually, no, after that, the ZAPPACOSTA Galazzo, after that was when the game was over really. And if anything, a bit of a side note, it's only my own personal projection. These are the types of games where I wish we had a youngster on the bench where they could get some minutes. I don't really see the harm in them getting used to playing with the first team and, playing against a team that's already lost the game. Hopefully, as the season goes on, we might see some of that from Conte. I hope so. As I said before, I was really disappointed that Masunda wasn't even in the squad. I was really, really baffled by that, and I thought it was a bit of overkill by Conte to do that. Of course, I was, thinking of these conspiracies. Of course, Masunda's deleted his Instagram account. Is there a reason why? Maybe Conte wasn't happy with him announcing it and told him, stay on your feet, don't get too excited. You're not going to play in this game, or you'll play against Middlesbrough. Nottingham Forest. I don't know. It's just a stupid conspiracy. Let's be serious. But anyway, you guys, that's going to end the match review tonight on our 6-0 win over Karabakh. I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.